Hey everyone. I hope you all had a good Thanksgiving. It was really nice to get together with family this year, unlike last year. Uh, and here we are with the Ask Maureen November edition. So it's great to be here. I hope that several of you will join me. You ask questions. You can ask questions on YouTube or Facebook. This is streamed simultaneously, and then this becomes a December podcast. So, those of you that are on, this is the very last Ask Maureen for 2021. I am taking December, the end of December off, and we're doing something different in 2022. But it won't be, I'll do something once a month, but it won't be the Ask Maureen. Doesn't mean you can't ask me questions. You can email me at photodetective@maureentaylor.com. I'd love to hear from you about it if you have a question. So, what are we going to talk about today? So, I just have a couple of questions submitted. Everybody's been busy getting ready for Turkey Day, and it's the holidays, and there's a lot of other stuff going on in the news that's keeping everyone sort of occupied. By the way, if you did not get on my email list, today is the last day of my Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. I let it run for one more day. It is a special bundle with 3 months of memory web, Vivid Pics, and a photo consult for $99. So check that out. It's on, I should be on my website, and it's in my social media. All right, so we have some great questions. We had one person asked me, and I hope you can hear that dinging because I shut my mail off and it's dinging anyway. Somebody asked me whether or not they should keep the folios that their pictures come in. And you know what that is, like you have a 1920s picture and it has the brown paper folio that goes with it. I keep those. They generally include some photographer information. If they don't, well, it's whether you do or not. It is an artifact for your family, and so I keep them together. I don't know what you do. Do you keep those folios or do you toss them? Let me know. Put them in the comments. Anyone can comment. I also think I can share my screen. Several people have asked me what they can do with old film, if they have film. And this past summer, I had some film that needed to be developed. I found it and I sent it off, not knowing what would happen. The results weren't great. I can tell you that right now. I mean, it was 40-year-old film at a minimum, maybe 60-year-old film, not 60, but 50-year-old film. So it wasn't great. But I sent it off, and the place I sent it to, I can share my screen. I'm going to share a Chrome tab. I sent them off to a place called The Dark Room that has been in business for 45 years, since 1976. And they develop all kinds of film, 110, let's see, film developing. Here it is. 35 millimeter, 120, single use, 110, 126. And that, so they can develop pretty much everything. They don't do the disc film. I don't know where we would get that done, and it's pretty horrible anyway. So why waste your money? But this place was great, and I had the prints. I had them available online. I could get prints. I could just download them from online. I did both just to test the product. It was really good. So it's called thedarkroom.com. Let me stop sharing that. I don't want to share that anymore. Stop screen. Great. So that was good. Anybody have any questions for me? This is your opportunity. As I mentioned, this is my last live on Ask Maureen. It doesn't mean I won't do some specials if I get enough questions, but I'm taking a break for a while and am doing something different. You're just going to have to watch my Facebook and my newsletter for more information on that. Anything else? All right. Well, we had a very complicated. Oh, actually, let's go this first. I have a couple more, and then I'm going to get into this really complicated case study this person submitted. So someone asked, how were photographs hand colored? So photographs, including daguerreotypes. So on daguerreotypes, they were hand colored with like a powder, so you could pink the cheeks and the lips, and um, could color the whole thing if you wanted to. So they use sort of colored powders for that, gold jewelry, things like that. When we get to paper photographs, you could use artist materials like crayons or paints to do it, and some amazing hand colored. I should have pulled one out for this, but I didn't. Sorry about that. Sometimes they color every little detail of it, and you cannot tell if it's a painting or if it is a photograph. And a long time ago now, I had a client who collected his one of his major collecting interests were hand colored photographs, and I was brought in to weigh in on the collection and date a lot of the photographs because they didn't have dates, and they were really remarkable. Uh, they looked like paintings, and yet we knew that they were photographs underneath. So you can use crayons, you can use paints, you can use ink. Those crayon portraits, like the one behind me that you can't really see, it was a photograph and then enhanced with ink and charcoal, things like that. That's basically how they did it. And you can even have hand colored and hand painted tintypes, which are very cool. I don't particularly care for a hand painted tintype. They look a little crude to me, but I have books in my library on hand painted tintypes, and they're interesting. It's like a folk art kind of thing. What else do I have? So, Roots Tech. Roots Tech is coming up. The deadlines for all of us that are presenting are December, in early and mid-December. That means our virtual booths have to be up, and I will have a virtual booth this year. And the talks I'm giving one on metadata with Rick Voigt of Vivipix, and then I'm giving another one called Best Foot Forward with Nancy Desmond of MemoryWeb, and that's a two-parter. So watch for that. Our Unlock the Shoebox was so popular last year. We redid it a bit, and so it's Best Foot Forward. We're having a blast with that. What else? Somebody asked, and actually I'm involved in this right now, donating collections to historical societies or museums. How can you make that happen? And do they even want your stuff? That's the question, right? So you want to choose an appropriate institution. So my husband's cousin has some material. Her great grandfather, my husband's great great grandfather, went to Dartmouth. Did Dartmouth want the material that we had relating to Dartmouth? They only wanted very specific things. We had to send them a list of everything that we had, and they mostly didn't take it. So we're left with some things we don't know what we're going to do with. But that we have to choose the appropriate institution. Was that the appropriate institution? We thought so, because it was material relating to his time at Dartmouth. If it's a historical society, I would choose one where your ancestors lived. I would also research that institution and make sure that they have on solid financial footing. I've seen many a historical society go out of business, and then the collections just go. That happened to a big museum in the Boston area a number of years ago. It was horrible. Everybody wants to know what happened to that collection. Definitely contact them before donating. It may be that you need to make a list. Understand what their policies are. Go on their websites. Most historical societies and museums have a page where it talks about their donation process. I used to work for a historical society. We had procedures. We also had things called gift agreements, which means that you sign away the rights to those pictures. So if you want scans of them or copies of them, do it before they're donated. Will the collection be accessible to the public, or is it going to sit on a shelf collecting dust? You want to know that. Do they want you to organize the collection before you donate it? Some will ask for some financing to help them organize it. And then, are there any tax benefits? Ask your accountant if there's any tax benefits for you donating this material. So that's my short version of guidelines for donating your photographs. Oh, we have a couple of questions. So Linda asks, she has a photo, 1890s, that is enclosed attached to the photographer's cardstock frame. The cardstock is gray and there's lettering in gold on the front of it. I can't read it entirely. Would scanning help? Scanning may help. I would not take it off the cardstock frame because that is actually, you'll destroy the picture if you do that. I've read that there's a way to reverse colors on documents. Absolutely. If you have VivaPix Restore, you can scan your picture, upload it, and then not necessarily reverse the colors, but you have a choice of sepia, color, black and white. It does help to see things in different colors, especially when you have handwriting you can't read. That helps a lot. Is there a way to do that for scanned photos? I think I just answered that, Linda. But yes, VivaPix Restore is your ticket for this. And it's on sale on my website with the bundle. Carol says that she has a couple of photos of her parents taken at a dinner dance, places that are in a paper frame holders that have the name of the place and the photographer and the date. So a lot of these places had photographers that came, or they actually even hired photographers to do that. So she decided to keep the holder in a separate plastic sleeve and put the photo tucked inside the frame holder sleeve. I scanned the holder as well as the picture. Excellent, excellent, Carol. If there's nothing on the back and you have memory web, you can connect the front and the frame and the image. It doesn't matter. It's not really the back. It can be any picture you want to attach. But that would be great for that. Any other questions for me? And Linda, I'm so glad you have VivaPix. I use it all the time. I was using it again today. A really complicated question. This one I had to really think about. This person is frustrated with trying to do this. So a distant cousin who they met through Ancestry has a 1905 photograph of ancestors taken in the city of Kisniev, Bessarabia, which is now in the country of Moldavia. The photo has the name of the studio, and they were even in contact one time with the now deceased grandson of the studio owner. Oh, that would be great. The individuals in the photo are peripheral relatives of mine, but might be key to my direct relatives if there were more photos from that studio. The question is, how in the heck do you approach getting information about an old photo studio in Moldavia? For that matter, any studio in pre-World War I Eastern Europe. And they said they did a brief Google search and didn't really come up with anything. So I had to really think about this one. Pre-World War I, Eastern Europe is tough, for sure. What can I suggest? There's several things. One, if you really want to do more research on the family in Moldavia and you want to learn more about that photo studio, but you can't do it yourself, you're having trouble with that. Certainly, the Association of Professional Genealogists may have someone who has experience in Eastern European research, and they would be a person to contact. This person did not say whether or not the family was Jewish or not, and in that case, there may be even specialists for Jewish research through the Jewish Gen that you might want to contact. In addition to that, remember, photo studios are run and operated and owned by people. So to research the studio, sometimes you have to research the person behind it. Now, if they have a generic name that you can't research, that can be a problem. But if it gives you first and middle initials and a last name, there's things that you can do. For instance, the birth records for Bessarabia, I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing it right, excuse my mispronunciation. Actually, those are on ancestry.com. Yes, they are. And so we can do some stuff with that. I'm going to share another screen in just a second. Give me just a minute. I want to put this back in. Yeah, there we go. So I am going to, so they were very specific about where they had lived, where the picture was taken. Share the screen. Give me a minute. So one of the things you can do if you're looking for photographs of family members. Obviously, I did this talk last week or the week before for last week, I guess, for my heritage on 5 places to look for photos. So check it out on their website. I'll be putting it up on my YouTube channel soon. But on eBay, you can like put in the name of the city. You can save this search, see the little heart on it, so that you can I get emails about things I'm looking for. But for instance, here's a woman taken in Moldavia in this area close to where the family lived. So you can actually go over here to collectibles, go more, and collectible photographs. You can put in the name of the family. So there's not that much here, but you can put in the name of the family, save the search for that family, and then uh, get alerts. You can also do that with the place name. That's what I would do. I would create a research plan for that photograph. Um, Carol, that is an actual flag. My house was built in 1896, and it took me 2 years to find a flag from that period. And then I had it framed. I bought it at, I think I bought it at Brimfield, a big antique show. Um, I kind of like it up there. It's a piece of history related to my house. Michelle said that she has tiny tintype photos that are loose and have rusting happening. You know, rusting in tintypes is bad because rusting will spread. There's not a whole lot you can do about that. You can scan everything at a high resolution and then use photo restoration software to try to fill in the missing pieces. You should store them individually in uh, non-PVC sleeves to prevent them from rubbing and affecting other tintypes that you have. I know exactly what you're talking about when you say you have those tiny tintype photos. They are gems and they're about the size of your thumbnail, and they were very popular. Let me go back to that photograph taken in Kishinev. The research plan should include what you know about the photograph, what you know about the place where it was taken, um, what was happening in the history of that place at the time the photograph was taken. So you want to date that photograph. There is also an archive for uh, Moldava, excuse me. And the archive is obviously in a foreign language, but hopefully Google will translate it into English so you can understand it. If you don't speak the language or write the language, you can't assume that someone over there does, does our language. So that's where APG comes in, the Association of Professional Genealogists. You may want to contact them and see. Does anyone have any other questions for me? We got a big crowd today on a Tuesday after Thanksgiving. What are you going to do with your photographs for the rest of the year? Anybody going to put together any photo gifts? I am not doing photo gifts this year. I did a bunch last year, but I don't have the time. I'm getting ready for Roots Tech. I don't have the time to do the photo projects right now. Anyone got a photo project? I know it takes some time to populate. When you display photographs in frames, is it always important to have a glass covering them? Yes, Carol, it is important. And it is also important to use museum quality glass and to mat them so that there is a spacer between the glass and the image. Because if you don't have a spacer between the glass and the image, and there's high temperature and humidity, it could stick to the glass and then you can say goodbye to your photograph. Um, so all of that, museum glass, you put a frame on it, like a mat, an acid and lignin-free mat. If you go to a framing store, they usually sell them. They even sell the museum quality glass in small frames. Oh my goodness. Found another couple of albums to photograph before I disassemble them. Oh, I really hope you're not going to disassemble them, Lori. I really hope not, because they tell a story. How can I take pictures without glare? Natural light is better, or if you get a shot box, which is a portable photo studio, that is absolutely the best way. And there are other portable photo studios. What I was talking about was Shotbox. There we go. And then, oh, goodness gracious, Wanda, you have CDs and DVDs, over 500 of them. I need download and need company to help. Yes. So I went to my local camera store, the Hunt's Camera. I don't know if you have one of those in your local area, and they put me in touch with a company locally that could do it for me. And it was expensive. So if you have 500 CDs and DVDs, it might be worth um, purchasing of, if you don't have a built-in DVD. I actually bought a VHS player on Facebook Marketplace and then never used it. But you can buy the technology that you need, like a portable external CD or DVD player that you can then hopefully download those to your computer. I would try that first. They're actually really inexpensive. They're about, I paid about $35 for my external CD player to do that. Oh, album is the sticky pages. Lori, thank you so much for clarifying. Yes, you have to get them out of there. I would lift up the plastic overlay, which is where it is shiny. And then once you photograph them, you shouldn't have the shine because you don't have that plastic overlay sleeve. Hopefully that plastic overlay sleeve isn't stuck to the page. Linda wants to know any strategies for telling siblings apart in a photo. It's a single person in a 20s. I think it is my great grandfather, but how would I determine that it is him versus a brother? The only way, Linda, is to find pictures of everyone else and then take a good look at their features, because even siblings vary. Unless they're identical twins, you'll be able to see differences, from tiny little differences in the eyes, the shape of the eyes, the nose, the ears, the mouth, the shape of the face, the way they age. All of that comes into play, but you really need pictures for comparison. So I hope that helps. All right. Any other questions for me before I say goodbye? As I mentioned, the last Ask Maureen for 2021. I am taking a break from it in 2022. We're going to do something else. We're working on it. But those of you that like to watch the videos I do on Facebook will be happy. John, you missed that part. The Shotbox is a portable photo studio that you can purchase from Shotbox. If you go on my website under shop, there's product suggestions, and I believe I have a discount code. Check it out. Also, it'll click over to the website and you can see if they're having any sort of Cyber Monday sale hangovers. I love checking in with you all once a month. Please continue to send me your questions at photodetective@maureentaylor.com. I'm always here for you. And get on my newsletter list because I have a lot going on. We're doing a lot of planning for 2022. So thank you so much for joining me. And yes, happy holidays, everyone. Definitely happy holidays. Oh, Adobe Photoshop or Vivipix? Well, Lori, that's two different things you're talking about. Adobe Photoshop has a learning curve that's steep. Vivipix, it does it for you. Vivipix is, much cheaper. Adobe Photoshop is very expensive, very expensive. So try Vivipix. You're not going to go wrong with it. All right. Thank you. I'm going to put on my desk lamp. Oh, am I in the dark? I don't think I'm in the dark. I'm in the sun. I have it all hooked up. But I'm not going to do that now. See, there's my desk lamp. It doesn't work so great. So John, thanks so much. I hope I'm not sitting in the dark. Have happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. And Lori, if you want to buy Vivipix, let me know, and we'll see what we can do. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Happy holidays. See you in 2022. Stay safe, please.